I have started. I was thinking.
So we can.
So Ragnar, you've got the recording?
Yeah, I've started.
Yeah, I've seen that. Sonia has not joined us, so I'm requesting Rose, can you do for us the minutes, if you're okay with that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear.
Obvious thing.
Yeah.
Okay, babes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think Ragnar started recording.
Yeah.
So we can start our meeting. I know it's 2 weeks from the time we had the other meeting. It went so well. And I think today we just have a few agendas that we want to talk on. Unless somebody has done an activity which he or she would like to explain to us or to give us a catch up before we start our meeting on the agendas of today. So I'll give people platform. Minivel, do you have anything to update us on?
No, at the moment I don't have anything because we are just doing the ceremonies with the children, but I didn't send it. So there is nothing apart from what we did last time. Thank you.
Shall I tell you about that Philippines thing that we mentioned before? Because that is interesting for everyone to know. I mean, is that we did with Javier Tolcacher on behalf of the forum. We were invited as guest speakers in a meeting of universities in the Philippines, in Baguio. That is the third international conference of RISE, R-I-S-E, 2025. R-I-S-E 2025 is an international conference on research and exhibits in aviation because it's a technical university, aeronautics, tourism, engineering, and education. That is our field. Interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary presentations advancing sustainable development goals, SDGs, within the context of United Nations, focused collaboration and technological innovation. This event took place on May 28th to the 30th in the Aeronautical Technical College of Baguio, Binolan, Pangasinan, Philippines. So there we did our presentations. All that has been recorded, but we haven't seen the copies of the videos. The interesting thing in our view is that they were extremely interesting about the forum, interested, and it is a conglomerate of 8 universities, very prominent in the Philippines. All of these universities train in different courses students from countries such as Japan, China, and the Philippines, of course, and Malaysia and Thailand, and all the Southeast Asian countries. And that is for us very good because we, of course, need to expand our influence and the acknowledgement of universalist humanism in that part of the world. And that's what is like a piece of news that I wanted to convey.
That is so great, Antonio. Thank you so much.
It's interesting, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Wycliffe, do you have something to update us on?
Well, thank you so much, Dorothy. Currently, I don't have something to update on. There is something I'm really working on. I think I've shared with you this discussion that is supposed to held actually together with you. And then afterwards, we'll have a collaborative discussion or a comprehensive discussion between you and Antonio and Julius if need be. Thank you.
You are free to say it here, what we've discussed.
Well, I remember very well last time when I had a communication with you. There's a number of youth that I mobilized and I have them at hand.
Oh, yeah.
So we needed to come up with a thematic on what we can go further discuss with them. And then afterwards, after having that discussion, then we can come up with agendas that we can discuss together with the team, and then we see the way forward. If we can maybe look or outsource some ideas on how we can come up with something that is tangible. I think it will be a good benefit.
Okay, that is great. We are soon going to have
where are you, Whitcliffe? Where?
Nairobi.
I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Wycliffe, that is great. We are going to discuss about it, and we will bring those people on board when we start the development, personal development discussion. I will communicate to you when the right time comes. Yeah. Now let's give Abel opportunity to update us on what he has been doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, my network got lost somehow. It's now reinstalled. I've just come to Kenya. I've just come to Kisii, my home area, and there's been a lot of activities back in northern Uganda where I've been, and up to the close of the semester for this year, the first semester is done. And the students will be going back for second semester beginning August, and new students will be joining. I was based in two locations in northern Uganda that has refugees from South Sudan, particularly based in Ayilo place in Adjumani, and we were doing mapping of schools in that can take up humanist education. And the teachers in the respective schools that we contacted, I forwarded their names and their contacts to Dorothy, and Dorothy is bringing them on board. And the observation that I was able to go make during that time is that most of the people who are oriented into the program need some separate time to be talked to, be informed, be told of what the humanist is all about, so that when they embrace this and take it to their schools, we are at par with them. So apart from the refugee places in northern Uganda and the education program in Gulu University, together with what was happening in Kampala, we have also joined many other schools from schools in Rwanda, in Burundi, and Tanzania, particularly Shepherd School. So the teachers of those schools I presented a list last time, and I hope Dorothy was able to reach some of them. And so far we need to now orient them as a group so that they can be able to exactly know what is happening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abel, for the update. That is so great. Can we get Ragnar's raise up his hand? Yes, Ragnar.
Yeah, thank you, Abel. This is very good, and I think you are so well connected to schools in both Burundi, Rwanda, other places, many places, and also in, for example, Nairobi and in Kenya. But were you able, Dorothy, to contact someone in Dana's school, or remember we were talking about that we would have to invite some of them to join the meeting with us. Dorothy.
Yeah, we were able. We called them because we have their numbers, and they said that they will join the meeting. So I forward for them the message because they are also in our educational group, but I've not gotten any feedback from them. And remember last time when we visit Rusinga School for Humanists, we were even supposed to go there this month when we are having the activity of an African child on 16th. So I think I will still get back to them and ask them. I don't know whether the time we are having our meeting is the one which is inconvenient, or I'm not sure. But I will get feedback from them. I don't want to take an assumption, Ragnar. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, but very good. But I was thinking, Abel, when are you going back to Uganda?
I'll be going after 1 month because they are now resting, especially for those in university. But those in primary and secondary school, they are going on. I'll go back after we are done with the activities here in Kenya.
Okay, very good.
That is in 1 month's time.
Okay. Is Felix still there? Is Felix still with you?
No, Felix is not with me. He has reported he has gone back to Kisumu with the whole package, and we have the photos that were sent.
Yeah, I saw it. But
Yes.
is it possible that you could visit the school of Dana, Abel?
Yeah, it's possible. I have time in Kenya. We can visit the school together. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, maybe Dorothy and Rose or someone can go with you.
We can go there on 16th, Abel, so that we can have the activity of the African Child Day. If that is okay with you, the 16th, it will be, because last time when we were there, we promised them that we were going to go there on 16th so that we can have celebrate with them the African Child Day.
Okay, that is very good.
So I think Ragnar, we'll talk about that one. We will organize it in our other meeting. Is that okay?
It's very much okay.
Thank you.
But
okay, sir. Thank you so much.
But what I would recommend for the group of education, it would be good to maybe come up with some kind of a plan how you will do the program, and I think it could be good if people brainstorm about what is possible to do. Okay, one thing I have is, I will share the screen here. Finally, as you know, there is finally there is in the can you see me sharing?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, now we have here active non-violence in and we have here education, and if we go in there, at least they have opened this group, but it seems to be more. Is this from the Spanish education group?
Spanish education table.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah.
Ragnar, I think you are ahead of the agendas I have. I think after everybody has given update, that is what we are moving to. But it's so nice that you are a fast thinker. Thank you so much. That is what we are moving to talk about, on what we want to be on our website and how we want it to look like.
Yeah, now I think
so those are some of the agendas we are having today.
Yeah, now I think it's time to organize what we want to put in there. And now we have this 2 websites. We can send the documents and these 2 emails. Then it will come there. So
Yeah,
what
because
do you want to send all the documents that Dana was sharing, or that could be one thing?
yeah, that is the reason why we were having this meeting today, and I think I'm going to send all the documents. I wanted to get the authority from everyone from this group, because last time when we were having this, Alice said that we are not supposed to give out the report before we share it. I don't know the way they wanted it to look like. But it's good that now everybody's here, and we can decide on what we want the website to look like and which information do we want to put there.
Yeah, I think that is a very good
Because
thing.
already we had collected a lot of information, and I could not forward them before you guys give me your authority, because this thing is for us, not for me. So I think that is the reason why we are having this meeting. But most of the information for education, we already have them. And I think today, if you give me an okay, like right now, I see everybody's proposing it to be there, I'll forward every material I have to Ramigo and to that email.
Yeah,
I can
sorry.
see Julia's hand was up.
I see Julius have raised hand, but I was not finished. Yeah, I think this is very, very good. And we talk about this. Also, the videos of the meetings we have been having, we can also share the YouTube link of that, And yeah, and we
can
for
share that
example,
one. Great.
Yeah, and but we have to decide. Like this is just a suggestion from me. You need to decide if you want to
That
do
is the
that.
reason why I could have not done it. So if we are here, we'll decide on what we want to present to the website.
But you let Julius you have raised hand. I'm done at the moment, but
yeah. But on the other hand, what you are
Julius, go ahead.
Thank you. What you right now has been voicing here is I would start by that, take you up on that, because like those videos, we need to have some archives. One archive is videos from the regular scheduled meetings of the table. And what you need to do, if it is possible, is to put, headings, just to meeting of the education and at this date and so on, because that is sometimes missing. Maybe you have mentioned that.
Yeah, it is actually. When I save it with a name of and date and everything, but when I convert it to YouTube, then I only share the YouTube link.
I see. Yeah.
But this is something we can. I think we can fix this. I think this is. They can put a line. If you open the link, then you see the YouTube link. Then you see the name on the video. When you see the video, then under is the name. Educational table. This date.
Yes. But if it is possible to have it at the beginning, obviously, then it might be. It is a technical thing that
I think
would be interesting to solve. Yeah. And then the reason for me putting my hand actually is that I think that well, we have technical problems also now in the in the work with Zambia. But on the other hand, Miniver, addressing my words to you and Paul, and that if you could manage to send, even to send to Dorothy, the videos with some kind of a report of the work you are doing with those young children in your school that you have kept for decades, for the orphans. And
Yes.
because those videos, they are tremendous. They are carrying a spirit that, can be an example for others.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I think that what do you think, Dorothy, if you can somehow create a link with Miniver and
Yeah.
you
I think we can organize with Minivel. Minivel, you have my WhatsApp number. So if we can
Yes, I
coordinate
have
that one,
this.
will be ideal. And then we see what we can share. And also
Yeah.
we discuss further. Yeah, I think that one will help. Thank you so much, Julius, for that. Minivel, I'm going to take an effort. I might get into an inbox and chat you. So
Yeah.
don't worry. I'm always an early person. It might be even early morning. So I think that one is well taken in and noted. Thank you so much. So
Okay, you're
I want us to
welcome.
move to our next agenda. We had a meeting on Saturday, not this Saturday, but last Saturday.
Ragnar is
Yeah.
putting his hand.
Can I?
No, himself.
Okay, Ragnar, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I like to speak freely here, no, in between. Okay, you have to excuse me, but
It's okay. It's a free world where everyone has a right for the voice. Your voice is your right.
But I think
Talk.
we should
Talk.
share and structure the documents we would like to publish on the group first before we send it to the website, because I think it would be very good if Julius or Dorothy, if you make a like they were doing the Spanish, to a small introduction about the group, what it is about. And then we can have a categories of documents in a one group, and then we can have videos in another group, so we can make some structure of this on our WhatsApp group, the table, before we send it over to the website with instructions how we want it to be. Okay?
That is a great idea, Ragnar. We
will work on this, and I will try to put the videos in a row and with names and things if possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice.
I'm done now.
No, it's very valuable.
Dorothy.
I'm in agree. I vote your ideas very expensively. Thank you.
Karibu.
Yeah, Julia's hand is up. Julia's talk before I move to the next agenda.
I like to look at myself talking or listen to myself talking. What I think that I think the educational table is a little bit ahead of some other tables, because this is the 9th meeting, and
this is the 9th meeting.
Yeah, and I think that we should have in mind we should have the idea so that we have homogeneous reporting of all the groups, the form and how we. So those elements are in each case, like gender-based violence or global warming or whatever this issue, that the structure would always be a short introduction and then a certain way of presenting written materials, photos, videos, and so on. Yeah, I'm finished.
Oh, thank you. So that one is in an agreement, and we are going to work on the introduction of the group and how we want the structures to be and how we are going to include the YouTube of the meetings we've been having. That is taken in consideration, noted down, an assignment to be done. So we are moving to the next agenda, which is last time, as I said, we had a meeting. It was not this Saturday, but the previous one. We had a meeting as a secretariat where the coordinators were meeting, and we were talking of how the next assembly should look like. And I thought that this time I want all of us to brainstorm, because last time I heard that the speech I did was specifically talking about me and the African. So this time I want us to do it together on how we are going to present what we are doing to the assembly. And I would love if everyone will say something on how they want it to look like, so that at the end of the day, we are having one thing as a group and it's something we have agreed on. So that is what I'm requesting, as if we can have some suggestion. The floor is open.
Well, you are referring to the third assembly scheduled on 5th of July. Not this month.
Yeah, 5th of July. It's not far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's next month. But we have to submit. There are some reports or presentation that we have to submit before. So that is the reason why I think it will be in order if we do it before the time.
Yeah.
So that we don't get late and also rushing. That is the reason why I thought of us discussing it in this meeting, because the next meeting will be the last one, then the assembly. And that one probably will be talking about on how to invite people.
Yeah, this is a very good idea. But everything needs some people to actually put this task, what to do before the next meeting. So I am ready to team up with Dorothy and maybe someone else. Then we would meet, in not too long time to plan this.
I would like to suggest the following, and is that we don't seem to have a document explaining what is the education table aims. To say a document that defines the aims. We have had lots of meetings and we have lots of conversations, which is very good because we understand what each other is doing. But what is the work that we intend to do as a table of education within the forum of Universalist Humanism? We aim, I think that was understood under the surface, that we are preparing a syllabus of humanist education for the different African schools that we are working with. that most of them are children of a certain age, perhaps, if I am not wrong, 5 or 6 to 12 years of age. And then Dana, that has her own plans and objectives because she has been 25 years working in that. She has her own plans. We don't need for her to define herself, but she can participate with her experience in the table of education of the forum. But then what is that the table of education wants? We have been talking even of eventually to start humanist schools, not necessarily with the same curriculum that Dana's, that is one particular experiment, but what we would like to have in the syllabus, other than the national syllabus, because in order to have a school emphasizing humanism, you have to be part of the national educational system. Otherwise, the Kenyan government will not give you the go-ahead because we'll say, well, you are teaching something that is not in the national curriculum. So we have to keep that parity. So in terms of materials, what are the materials that we are going to copy from countries that are more advanced in terms of education because they have been running projects of this type for many years? It's a matter of translating those materials, which is not difficult with artificial intelligence. And also, what else do we want to do? In general, we want to help to humanize Africa and humanize the world. Fair enough. That is a general objective. But what does it mean in the specific work that we are doing? It's an open question because we don't have a very clear answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I am thinking this is a very good idea and very important. In short, where are we going with all this?
Yeah.
And in that topic, I will ask you, Antonio, is it possible that that the webinars that you have, Dorothy, could you silence your microphone, please? The dogs are in your, yeah, okay. So, like the webinars, and we, as we have been talking in informal conversations, then you have voiced this interest of going a little bit deeper into the let's say we have scheduled internal work meetings. That is a kind of education that we would, consciously deepen people's understanding of the practices we are doing, and also this topic of having some webinars or work for the study of self-liberation. That surely sounds for me like a subject of educational table of the universal
Certainly.
humanism.
I think at the moment, Julius, we have we have those materials available. I have sent the book of self-liberation in English that I got from Silo.net to Dorothy to be in the record, because the intention is to start another table within the forum that will concentrate in the study of that book. Because my perception is that we need to raise the level of understanding of the theories of universalist humanism, because people, they have it, they have an identity, they have it in the heart, they wear a t-shirt that says, I am a humanist, but behind that is just the skin. We need ideas to be there, and we need an experience, and we need a lifestyle that people apply in the day-to-day lives, because otherwise we will not be able to move into the next stage. But in this table of education, I think we cannot mix everything together because we will go nowhere. So we need to be specific in the tables of the forum. So I understand that if we have a group of people from different countries studying elements of doctrine in what we could call self-development, that would be interesting because later on themselves will be able to initiate similar ones with the same text, and like that we'll go spreading at de facto a level of education in our subjects amongst the members that are already working in different parts. The Ugandans can be present there, the people from Zambia, the people from Kenya, and different parts of Africa and other countries. Because that table, we can agree just in the language component, so we can communicate with one another. But we cannot have their translators or things like that because that will take months to move from one page of the book to the next one. We can run one table in English, one table in Spanish or whatever, if there are people, Spanish-speaking people, who are interested. Because what happens is that because the movement developed in Spanish-speaking countries, the level of access to materials and to books and people who have really done the practices and they have been involved is greater the number of people available in that hemisphere of Spanish-speaking people than in the English-speaking country. We start to search who can instruct in this and this matter. There's none. But it's in everyone's heart, but not the information in the computer. So that's why we need to accelerate in Asia, probably, and also in Africa, I think. The others can cater for themselves at the moment. They are more or less equipped. But because tables can be open or closed according to the desires of the members, we have no restriction in that sense. We can do what we want to do as long as we have the conditions to do it well. So that's what I think about that, Julius.
Yeah.
To put all the eggs in the same basket will not resolve the problem. At this stage, and regarding education, we have to be specific, I think. So education as texts, as models or practices that are taking place in schools, such and such age, perfect. For this table. But I don't know if there is any other thing that you want to do here.
Yeah. Can I respond just shortly, Ragnar, before you... It's okay?
No problem.
Yeah. So, yes, I think this is an interesting approach. We will work as we have been doing for the different schools for children older and the general curriculum for knowing about humanism and having education, something like what's it called, the Rudolf Steiner schools, that are they have a different education that many parents, and they are education. That is the Rudolf Steiner education. We will have our humanist education for the various ages, but I like very much for other things, for practices and even for teachers that are deepening their understandings, that could be some different levels of personal development as a table. I like that idea very much. So, Ragnar, you can...
Yeah, I want to say I totally agree with Antonio, and it was somehow what I was trying to say. Like, we have to have a plan and we have to have a introduction document. But maybe you are so right, Antonio. If we can work on a document, excuse me, Júli, hvað svona stefnuskrá og markmið? Hvað heitir það í... Við erum með svona skjal á ensku, ég man ekki. platform, or I don't know. So we have to have, and we can write down things like, okay, I think it is very important that we go through the documents we have, and we can take one document and decide to study it, and then to send it to all the schools that are in contact with us, so they can start practicing it step by step. What I know is, I'm sorry that Dana is not with us, because I know, and also Tracy, was, and she have a school in Tanariva, and she have a lot of ideas about what she want to do there. And we know that Dana have regularly seminars in her school. And we should find out when is the next seminar she is having. Then people from other schools can come there and learn from there. We need to put on some very, one thing can be introduction of the document, introduction of this table, and then what goals and platform we have, like working on the documents and things. And I think Julius and Dorothy and me, we can work on this document and send it between us to try to clarify what steps we are thinking about, and and both to explain for others what we are doing, but maybe most of all for us to organize and try to find out what we really want to do.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Can I talk?
Good. Yes.
Rose.
Dorothy, give me the opportunity.
You're
You are
muted,
muted,
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
I'm muted.
The mic, I've given you the mic, Rose. I muted because my dogs are also making noise at the back there. I think they need to take something.
Okay. I want to echo on two things about the personal development or self-liberation. I think personal development and self-liberation should be worked on with all the thematic tables, because it is something that should be addressed from every individual that is under the humanist movement. About the education table, I think we should work on either a manual or a guidebook that will help us categorically classify what we want to do in schools, what areas should we touch, what activities should we do. So the manual, like something small, like a manual or a guide that will guide us when we go to these schools. So what maybe we can do, we can collect all the materials that we have, and we combine and come out with one manual or guide that we'll be working with through the schools. I think this will be a long-term thing. Then we differentiate. Okay, manual one will be tackling maybe, for example, age group maybe from 9 years to 14, from 15 to 20. Then we also have a manual that will be targeting parents, adults. So we specify them. I think that will help us on our thematic table of education, because we cannot just go randomly like we want to talk about everything. We have to sieve.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to share.
Perfect. That's a very good approach.
Thank you so much, Rose.
And there, when you visit the school of Rosinja, then you will be able to talk to Dana, all the teachers who are working there, and to say, show us all the material that you have. They have the material prepared, all the topics. Tell us, instruct us about how to extend it then to many other schools in the region. Yes. And talking of the levels of skills and materials that have been prepared in Spanish, that we can translate them very quickly again. Last year we translated 2 or 3 manuals of education for schools from Ecuador and from Peru and other places, and we have distributed. No, I don't know where they are, but anyway, I have in the archive. I can send it easily. And so there is lots of the road has already been transited, is already constructed. It's just a matter of reviewing, revising,
Yeah.
discussing with some other schools that you think is interesting to initiate relationships with them and giving them copies of the material. And there you can discuss with the teachers, etc., whether they can adapt or implement or initiate some of these things. Ideally with the supervision of some of the people who are in education already.
Yeah, I think that will be of really a big help because you cannot just go to a school and you talk randomly. You must have a plan on what you people are doing, because if you come to gender, they'll be talking of other things. At the end of the day, we'll be talking about humanist work, but what are the topics that we'll be handling? How are we going to approach these things? So a manual or a guide will really help us with the work.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you, Rose.
Gender is another category of problem. It's an anomaly. It's a crime that is being committed with impunity against one of the genders, females especially, because they are weaker, they are more unprotected, because it's a traditional society in many places where women are considered lower or inferior characters, and they can be exploited, they can be abused, they can be doing this or that. Well, we know because it's similar situations in many other parts of the world. So that is a disease of society that we have to correct it, and that requires specific education in what are normal ethics, moral things, because if you go to international law, what is the defense of genders, the equality of genders is a fundamental human right, has been around for 80 years already. Even big tycoons, those in Hollywood, those guys that were abusing girls in order to give them a job in a film or something like that, they have all gone to courts and they are prisoners until the rest of their lives. So really is something that is being taken seriously, but still there are irregularities, anomalies and abuses. And those things we have to see how, as you are doing in different parts of Kenya, how it can be implemented in practical terms to stop it happening in the way that it's happening. So you can organize community groups to protect the women that are more vulnerable. You can have small centers of advice, of consultancy, where people who are fearful because somebody has been molesting them systematically, they can find a bit of refuge and counseling and protection, and that you can link with the entities of the state that provide protection, the local police or the local judiciary or whatever. And so you create a shelter, a protecting belt for the people who are potential victims. But it's a different area of application of work. Education as well. Basically, in general, we are all into education in different aspects. But here we are talking of formal education in the table of education and topics also in which we think that we can educate ourselves. But also the things we have to define and we have to agree. We want to run a course of this or that or the other thing. Open to, we have to decide what constituency we want to open it to. So we have a big scope of possibilities. Now, just now, the tables are getting formed and they are defining their interests, as we were saying since the beginning. And through discussions and all that, people start to clarify what is that they want to do according to the present activities and according to the personal interest. But that cannot be done overnight because it's we are navigating uncharted waters. So it's a bit trial and error, and we are learning from one another. So there's no terrible hurry in that. No?
Okay. Mostly I wanted to say hi to Tracy, and you were telling me, Tracy, that you have some plans for the school in Tenerife. If you can tell us a little bit about that. But one thing I want to mention here, I think about the school system and about what should be our focus and could be the key for us to enter all the schools is to work against violence, because we have a history of violence in the schools. The education system is based on punishment and all these things. So we have to clarify this very good and go into the schools with this and follow up with how we can work about it with other documents. That is, and we can work on some. I'm ready to work with you, Julius, on some ideas we can bring together and try to clarify these topics and what are our plans and aims and all that. But Tracy, welcome. Tell us a little bit about your plans in Tenerife School, if you can. Maybe Tracy, a bad connection, but Rose have raised hand. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm just, yes. I think I'm just overthinking. I'm just suggesting something maybe that can work for us at this table. That is having an evidence-based intervention that will carry on the whole system in education. But maybe we can think about it, because evidence-based interventions is it's like a bunch of activities. But we name it as evidence-based intervention. Then there is training, there is therapy, there is wellness, there's a lot of things. But we name it as evidence-based intervention. That will guide us as now the education table. Maybe we can think about it, then we agree if it's okay. That is what I wanted to share.
Yeah, that is a good idea, Rose. Because right now people are giving suggestions on how we can come up with a good guide on this education. But before that, I would like to give Abel. Abel was carrying up his hand. Yes, Abel, can you tell us something?
You are muted, Abel, if you want to speak.
Yes, I was typing what I was to say, and that is now we need to look back and see what has been working in the schools, because we have been in education and run humanist schools for a number of years, even before the Rusinga school was set up, and that was from the year 2001, 2002, all through up to this time. We need to relook at what has been, how have we been doing this, and we work on how we can improve what has been worked on, and especially the system of education across the world is changing and is improving every other day. We are now talking about the current system of education that involves a lot, and oh Jesus. Hello?
Yes, yes. We can hear.
Yeah, so
Internet connection, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you there, Tracy?
The microphone is
muted.
Yeah, muted.
We are fighting that technique.
Yeah, I know she having problem. Her phone was stolen, of course, in Tenerife.
Oh, yeah.
And, so she have been having problem with connection.
Yeah. I see.
But I give give the
Okay,
mic to
so
you, Dorothy, if we continue the meeting.
Listening.
yeah, I think we were just going to our last agenda, which was how will we like the assembly to look like, and I think Antonio explained to us how it could look like, and it's us to work on it. So I think those were what we wanted to discuss today, unless somebody has a or B, any other business, because I normally like the meetings to take at least 1 hour.
Yeah, yeah. I can
Yeah.
read from the chat box because Abel that has lost contact, but he is saying here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just some minutes ago, thematic areas of entry into schools as humanists is 1, violence, gender and gender-based violence, and children's rights, human rights, since the aim is to humanize the world, and in this case, children. I will
Copy that text. It's very good, very clear. It's exactly what we want to do.
Copy the text.
Yeah.
And make a document.
Yeah.
With it. Okay.
Okay. So is there anyone with
as for
go
the
ahead,
assembly,
Anton.
Dorothy, that you were mentioning, I don't have a clear idea what is the shape it will take. But we have 4 weeks' time, and still in the meeting that we had with the coordinators of tables 2 weeks ago, it was more or less define a plan that Javier has presented. Well, we allocated 2 minutes to report, blah, blah, blah. Then there is a period of time where the tables will be meeting and discussing what's the position of the work, and they will have a short time to report to the assembly, and they will also pass a copy for the secretariat, a copy of that document. And also they will talk about the plans for the future, how they have organized the work for the let's say next 3 months, because these assembly meetings we are having every 3 months about. So that is a general plan as far as I understand. And then we had the agenda with the times that each one of these things will happen. They estimate that the whole program will take a bit more than 2 hours, because then after the tables have
it will take 2.5
together 2.5 hours. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
what
it
we
was
have.
2.5 hours.
And as for the content, the tables can say whatever they want. They can talk about their experience. Now, more than a general explanation or long speeches from the organizers, the important thing is what the tables have to say. But because there are many tables, even if they say hi, it will take 10 minutes.
Yes, this is very, very interesting, because we, of course, are aiming towards a universal human nation that is constructed from the thought that it needs to be, filled with the contributions from all, in the benefit of all. So this is the big architectural structure we obviously need to have in mind.
Yes, exactly. We have to go deeper and deeper in that concept, and that is like another angle of education, because the table of education that involves a number of countries of Africa or Latin America or whoever are participating, have to see how they envisage, for example, the universal human nation to be. What are fundamental values of that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Like solidarity, like respect for human rights, like non-violence in all its forms, like the concern, because it's important that all are treated similarly.
Yeah.
You cannot have a multi-billionaire here showing off and spending stupidly money and other people starving to death. What is that? It's a monstrosity. And that seems to happen everywhere, every day in the present world that has been developed by the geniuses of democracy and the empires and the queens and kings and the bankers and all that bullshit, because it's just that. And the large majority of the population suffers because they cannot access the minimal requirements. That we want to reverse quick as possible. And more awareness is being created in that respect. But we have to say it again and again and again everywhere, because otherwise it seems that things are all right, and they are not all right.
Yes. And also, what we have already to build on, very importantly, because Sheila said at one time, very correctly, that at this time and age, we really do not. The people of the earth, the human being has nothing globally to hold on to, except the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And that is very much the template to go from, and then this to somehow,
engineering.
Re-establish the, change the United Nations so it will be acting according to its charters, but not according to 5 countries that are, destroying everything. And therefore, it's very good that Ragnar is saying, and this has even in the socialist work in Iceland and so on, that we humanists that are going to cooperation with other forces, that this very basic thing of peace and non-violence, this is the speciality of our movement.
So it's good, these revisions, because we tend to have things refreshing in our head, the aims. And then all that has to express in the more specifics that we want to do. Materials, we will have plenty. Experiences of implementation we have, and then we have to keep contact to influence others. Influence in terms of the humanist education, higher level schools and universities, and all different centers of education in the country. So they have to hear, and they will discover that there is something that is called humanist education, and is based in solidarity, in non-violence, and respect for human rights, and respect for all beliefs, respect for all the differences, because the differences are very valuable, because they are the response of all traditions of different groups. But because now all the groups are coming together, because we are too many people, too many in the good sense. I mean, not that we cannot fit, but that requires that we have to behave better as before. Because if next to you your neighbors are starving, you will not be very comfortable yourself. And some of the children will come and steal something that you have there because you are privileged. So it's a problem. Better we distribute the resources for everyone, and then those things will not happen. So it's sort of common sense.
I am thinking, Antonio, is it possible that you could send me the document you had on Silo's, speech or writing on humanism and socialism and the young power thing. You sent it at one time, and I am not thinking of sharing it widely, but I have in mind some very reliable, very good heads that I want to share to, because
Okay. Yeah.
that would be really, really good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure. Thank you for chairing this meeting, and Rose for making the notes and complimenting everything, and Ragnar for all his valuable participation. And Minerva has stayed all the time because of communication difficulties. She couldn't speak enough, but will happen eventually. Tracy, as always, silence because of poor communications and lost telephone.
Are you there, Tracy?
Thank you so much, Antonio, for the compliment, and I can leave it at peace, force, and joy.
Wait,
Perfect. Very
Okay.
nice to see you.
Can I ask one question? One topic. One topic.
Say something.
Okay, what is the we have talked about many things here. What is the plan until next meeting?
So
We have
the
to
next
put the
meeting is going to
materials on the
be
secretariat, as we said. The materials have to have titles, so otherwise nobody will know what is what, and then that will be there. So as a work that is done, if somebody wants to consult.
Yeah. I think we had a committee. We had a committee, I think. You, Ragnar, Dorothy, and myself. We should work out something.
Yeah.
We can study the video, all of us before, and we work out something.
To clarify the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so we hopefully we will. Let Miniver talk.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about having an introduction letter so that we have it. Yeah, because here in Zambia, we are going through difficulties, a lot of questions, but we can try to answer, but we need it from you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, and we will keep on this. We will keep on this team preparing the visit of Dorothy and Rose to Zambia sooner rather than later, but probably we will have to have some advance.
Also Tracy wants to go there.
Yeah, that would be really, really good. Beautiful. Because in Zambia we have some interesting history of the movement and of the work of Miniver. Has been so actively doing things all the way since 2001. Now, is it true, Miniver? Yes, from 2001 until the day.
Yeah, I've been active since 2001 up to date. Yeah, because there are a lot of things which I have learned from the humanist movement and which I'm still learning and which I'm very much interested to share with the world. There are a lot of experiences.
That's nice.
And Paul, your son, by your side, he is responsible for making the reconnection because he
that's very
from
true.
2-3 years ago, he sent me a letter and said, I want to be an orienter. I will take up the practice again. And from there, we started to, take Zambia into the project of the African Humanist Forum. 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very well.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I think
very well.
Yeah.
So perfect. I mean, I don't know why we are not more in this meeting, because we said to have them separate or not?
The other team is working on the technical agenda.
Yeah, that's right. But everybody knew about the meeting. That's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Commitment.
Yeah, I sent the invite
Reminders.
a
Yeah.
day before. I reminded them. Yeah, I reminded them.
Okay.
If I
And
can,
also the Uganda team was lost. They are lost. The Uganda team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We need a mechanism for connecting people in between and confirming the participation and all that, because
Yeah, we will.
yeah.
I think we have to
We will.
work. I think we have to work on this. What is our aims? What is and that we start to make something happening. Because if we are
Yeah.
only having meeting and talk and meeting and talk, it gets boring, and then people stop.
Stop coming. Exactly.
Yeah. So we will focus on. That's why I'm asking. What is the plan? Okay, we will work on this.
The plans of the
document.
tables in a forum, Ragnar, are studies. That's a problem.
Sorry?
If we want them in a forum,
Yeah.
there are groups of study that study the topics of these. So that involves lots of talking and action. For action, people can choose other types of activities, from actions that involve actions in the communities, actions here, action there, political action, religious action, etc. So unfortunately, this forum thing deals with concepts, with ideas, gets inspiration out of the discussions intellectually, most of it, gets masses of information with the intention of teaching this in the communities. So teaching would be our priority, I think.
Yeah.
So everybody will knows enough, like, to start teaching, even to the neighbors.
Us, we are teachers.
Yes. We have to prepare some basic materials and to have them at hand, and that's it.
Yeah.
So till next meeting, we have to work on these documents and introduction and structure the how we will put it into the World Humanist Forum education table there,
that's exactly.
And in these, when we are structuring this and writing these letters, it will become more clear for us the steps we are going to take next.
Yeah.
Next, and also we have to think about how we can get more people into these meetings, and then we have to have something concrete for them.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Miniver has raised a hand, or is it an old?
It's an old.
It is an old one. It is an old one.
Yeah.
There is no harm, because if the tables are not attractive enough, they are not interesting enough, they will disappear. Everything that is, and if they are fascinating and everybody coming there learn things, so they find new things that they can apply very well, they will grow. And those is almost the challenge is with us.
Yeah, and
also people come to these forums with different missions.
And
commitment.
Yes,
and visions.
but
So if their vision and missions are not met, they will definitely run away.
Yes.
Yes, but then we must remember the quiet work that is going steadily and has been for decades, like with Miniver, not maybe nationally very important, but of course in her nearest environment, Linda, where she lives, and in Lusaka. So that is also, the rhythm of life through decades, So that's also
exactly
like in case of Dana. She has been doing this work regularly, and Kjartan Jónsson in Iceland has been working in India and Africa, and so things moving in one way or the other in these elections has been there. But that doesn't mean everything else said here is, of course, right. We need to have a, conscious push for development.
Okay.
Yes, clarify our ideas and move forward. And if there are many other tables, we can always apply to join another table that is more akin to what we are considering or that we would like to do. So while doing these works in tables of different subjects, thematic tables, we also go clarifying what our interests, personal interests are. So that's very good. And each one will have a vocation or has experiences that can be shared with others according to their own experience and speciality. So that's wonderful. Rose?
I've just remembered something about there's a thematic table that is it Antonio Gucci? Antonucci, yes, that is very, very active and has a lot of material. I remember there's a time we had a meeting and we said we should maybe buy ideas from them. So maybe we can also come as a team, create time. He comes to our table and tell us how they've been working so that we can buy ideas from him on how to,
And in the assembly, you will find out what is that they are doing. Of course, they are doing with lots of people from Western Africa, the French-speaking people, basically. Antonucci can speak well in French, so then from the countries of the Sahel.
Yes, and
but also there are people from Europe and people from the Czech Republic, where he lives in the Czech Republic. In the same city as Dana, he lives.
Dana.
Yeah.
So maybe you can help us also on how to organize.
Yeah.
But the topics of that table is quite. They are talking of the social revolutions, for example, and the psychological moments of convergence. It's a different sort of approach.
So he speaks English also.
Yes.
So that is very ideal.
So I also think that maybe we can have the meeting once in a month. If having it twice in a month makes people not to have something to discuss, that can also be a suggestion.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that we have it once in a month, and then that is the time it will find when people have prepared and the quorum might be more, because if it is like after every 2 weeks, then it makes people to see as if sometimes it doesn't make sense. But I'm grateful that right now we already have a column in the website, and even when people are meeting at the end of every month, people will be having what we can post in our website on what they've been doing. So I think for us having our 10th meeting, which will be next month or maybe on 24th, that is 2 weeks from now, it will mean that now if we start doing a monthly meeting, it will be ideal, because to me, I can say it's a milestone, and some of the things we are expecting are started being achieved, because we didn't know when the website column for education was going to be there, but right now it's there.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to count on our small milestone of what we are doing, because it's also an effort, and also to make people to come together. It's not something which is very easy, because everything is dedicated, and there are people who feel that when they don't have an interest of what they're going to gain, that one also matters the same way we say that it depends. So, and I think now if we start putting everything on the website, and maybe when meeting we have something to put there, it will be ideal. So if we can take the meeting to be at least once a month, I think it will help us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
I
what
think,
other people are suggesting, but that is what I'm thinking loud.
yeah,
It's very important.
yeah, I think that this is a very good idea. And in this month, we will make ad hoc teams to carry out there are very many tasks we have mentioned, and we will work on them, strategically, like those those two, those different combinations of ourselves would work on getting done what we have been
Yeah.
talking about.
Yes.
I
Exactly.
agree. Like we are having the Congo team thing, and also this Tenerife group and other groups. We have changed into the rhythm once a month to have meeting
Okay.
because
Okay.
because we have been so busy doing both first Uganda and then Tenerife, so we have not been able to follow up with everything.
Perfect.
I think once a month is a good rhythm, but
It's good.
that means that those who are controlling or running this table, they can have meeting every
Can still
2
have a
weeks or
meeting.
every week,
More often.
Yeah,
Or
more
they
often.
can
So,
meet every week,
yeah,
or they can meet anytime
Yeah.
they want to
Yeah.
have a discussion.
yeah,
That one doesn't limit me from meeting Antonio and the rest when we have
Exactly.
something in, and it doesn't limit Millivel when he wants to send for me documents
Yeah.
or getting inside my box
Yeah.
inbox. But calling for a big a quorum meeting, a bigger meeting, that one will be once a month.
Once a month.
But
Exactly.
the internal and on how to coordinate the website, because now I think the real work has started.
Yes.
Because
And now
putting up the website is something which is not easy, because coming up with writing, documenting it, sending it somebody to rewrite it or read
Yeah.
it, then working it out will take time. And I think that is the direction where education now has taken, because what we were waiting for was that platform of the website, and it's there. So even if we have the 4 weeks just working on the things which we want to put on the website, seeing where can we correct, do we have the quality of pictures, something like that. I think that one is going to help us
Yeah.
as education, and it is going to make it not to be boring, because
And
now
each
we've
one
learned
of
each
us,
other.
we
we know
should be
each other.
thinking in what do we expect from the table?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that means what we want to contribute or what do we expect to do together, because sometimes you can do better things if you work together. And that has taken a bit of time to see, and every time we ask the same question that Ragnar have asked a few times. What is the aim of the table? What are we here for? What do we expect to do?
What are you bringing on the table?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, what are you bringing on the table?
A good reflection to do. Because
Let's
to
have a
talk about
breakfast.
things
Yeah.
and then next week to talk about the same thing again and again,
Yeah.
then people will
And
disappear
again,
for good, no?
Yes, very true.
yeah, so
Take care.
that's great, and I think I'm going to stop the meeting.
You
It's
have to
1.5 hours, and it's
Thank
a
you. Thank
grateful
you.
and productive meeting. So
Okay.
peace,
Yes,
force,
well,
and
enjoy.
joy.
See you.
Peace, force, and joy.
Peace,
Thank you.
Peace, force, and joy.
Bye,
Bye
Minivel.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.